G'day Bifrosters, just another quickie. Today we're just going to talk quickly about arrays. Here's Mikey. Mikey's an Alembic. You know, Alembic is a cache format you can bring into Maya and most other 3D packages. But using just arrays, this is what we're going to do to Mikey. So let's get started and I'll show you how it works. Before we do anything else, we're just going to talk about what an array is. And all an array is a list. That's it. It's a list. It's an indexed list if you want to be really precise about it. The indexes just mean that every member in the list has a number associated with it. And in Bifrost and in most other packages, those numbers start with 0. That's what can be confusing about arrays. But before we talk about things like nested arrays, which we probably won't get onto in this quickie, we need to talk about what an array is, and it really is just a list of things. Your shopping list is an array. Your wish list on Amazon is an array. It's just a list. I can't say that often enough. So let me demonstrate this for you. In Bifrost, anything that's an array comes through with hat. See how that looks like a hat? And that doesn't. This means that this is an array of data. In this case, it's an array of meshes. So we can take a look at that simply by throwing down a get from array. It's late. Get from array, and I'll just pop this into an output so we can see what we're doing. Now this is the index, so 0 means it's the first item in the array. In this case, it's Mikey's belt. Let's just make this a little bit easier to see. So I'll just grab all of Mikey here so we can switch it over. So if we switch this over, this is all of Mikey, and the first thing in the list that makes up Mikey is his belt. His second thing are his armbands. His elbow pads, I think, actually, yeah. And so on down the list. And you can just keep on going down the list until you run out of things to go to. So because I'm not seeing anything here, this means that that's the end of it. Mikey has less than 30 indexes. We can find where his list finishes by working our way back. There we are, 23. So that means his last index is 23. His first is 0, his last is 23. Means there are 24 items in the list that make up Mikey. Now I can show this with some of Bifrost's array nodes. So for this one we'll just do array size. We'll find wherever I've lost my output. Oh, I might have deleted it there. And we'll just drop that into the output. I drop it into the output so that Bifrost will calculate the data and I'll be able to look at it in a watch point. There we go. 24 things in the list. Size 24, last min max. If you remember, we come back down here and we have 23. So we start at 0, we go to 23, that makes 24. Mikey's just a big list. Now there are an awful lot of tools for the arrays in Bifrost. Bifrost is very good at arrays because everything is one. If we just type in array, we can take a look at everything with the word array in it, like so. If you go to core, there's an entire section on arrays. We're not going to go through all of those today. This is a really quick example of what an array is. We don't want to spend too long on this because we'll do some more later. So let's set up what I was doing before, and I'll show you how I did it, and then I'll let you go. So here's just Mikey doing his walk. Now if I wanted to see all his nice colours again, I'd need to plug this one in here and this one in here and switch it over. Now we're back to what we were doing. So all I'm doing here is a get from array, and I'll show you how this works in a minute. I'm getting these indices from this array, I'm putting it into this loop, which does nothing but just loops through every single one, and we'll talk about loops in another video. Loops through every single one, changes its color and spits it out again. So if I take away this, you can see this is just the orange. And if I take away that, it's everything but the orange. So the way I did that is I built an array over here of all of these, and all these are numbers, 24, 23, and they're being fed into this array. So this array is now an array of numbers, and those numbers are being fed into get from array. So it's getting all of these indexes, 22, 21, 28, 7, 23, 24, and this one, which we'll get to in a minute. And we're going, I want to get them from this array, change their color, and output them. And at the same time, I want to remove them from the gray array, which is just this one, and I want to output that as well. And that way, it's not trying to draw two objects on top of each other. So all this is doing is building an array. It's called build array. It builds it in the order that it comes in. And this is a special way to build an array. What this is doing is I'm saying, I want an array of 5 things. I want an array that has 5 things in it. It starts at 0 and it steps at 1. And this is going to build a number sequence. So in this case, because it's 5 long, it's going to start at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's outputting that as an array into here. We can build another one that'll work too. There's 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. So let's build another sequence already to get that sequence of numbers. So our new sequence starts at 20 and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in it. So we come back here and we go, I want it to be 5, start at 20 and count by 1. Now the only thing we have to do now is change these from floats to long, because that is the format that this node wants to build an array. Now we can get rid of 22, 21, and 20, 23 and 24. Just delete them. You can see they all disappear from the array. We can add this array in. And sometimes this happens, I'm not sure why, but you can see how it lost its values that we put in, so we'll just put them back in again, and there we go. So if I take a look at the watch point for this, this is an array of size 5 that starts at 0 and ends at 4. Size 5 starts at 0 and steps in ones. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 makes for 5 things. And this is doing the same thing. This one is a sequence of 5 that starts at 20, and if you count 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, you'll find that it has 5 items. Okay, so that's a really quick run through of arrays. It's the very beginning of the arrays. You can do an awful lot with them, including build your own geometry. We'll get to that in a later quickie. I hope that helped, and I'll see you next time.